You're back at Bam Bam's after your second and final bye week of the season, ready for the home stretch, I guess we'd call it. And the home stretch already kind of got off to a good start on the week before the bye with the win down in Tennessee.
It was a good win. The team needed it. A long way to go to play a football game, frosty and cold, but our team, they played well. I think they played well in all three phases, and it was good to win.
It felt like November, and you got November off to the right start and kind of put October in the review a little bit.
Yeah, we don't really even acknowledge October.
Didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen.
Coach Howell this morning was saying, I tried to ask him a big picture question, and that's not really his forte. He's kind of like laser focused on the next game, and he said pretty simply, we want to win whenever, wherever. When we don't, we're not happy. And that kind of spelled it out.
That's exactly right, and that's what we all expect, and that's what we all want.
The win against Middle Tennessee did showcase maybe your best and most consistent defensive effort of the season. Fair or not to say that?
I would say including UConn and Texas. So I would put those three in the same category.
That's a good point. Texas was pretty dominant. They scored only 7 points that night, but it had been a while since you'd seen that kind of play from you guys, though.
It has been, and a lot of execution mistakes, a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of chemistry issues, but really it comes down to just the players doing what they're supposed to do when they're supposed to do it, and defending big plays. And so that really leads to points, and so it was nice to see us start to get a handle on that.
Yeah, Middle Tennessee was a big play team coming into your game, and they didn't have any.
Exactly right. Jordan Prater did a really nice job, and our pressure was effective. And so when pressure and coverage comes together, then offenses struggle. Similar challenge this week. UNLV throws the ball almost every down. A couple really capable and explosive wide receivers. And so similar, other than Middle Tennessee had a strong running game, UNLV really relies a lot more on the pass.
UNLV's quarterback can move around a bit.
Yeah, and prefers to. And so if protection doesn't hold or if you drop into coverage, he's very comfortable, tough, kind of gritty, and runs around and gets first downs. And he's done a nice job in at least helping them sustain drives and put some points on the board.
So how sold are you on your defense right now then? It sounded like you're like, yeah, they were okay at Middle Tennessee, but there were some things we need to clean up, which is always the case. Where are they right now?
Oh, I think they're improving. I think that they're chipping away at what great defense looks like, what BYU defense looks like. And a lot of it takes time, a lot of it takes experience, maturity, and a lot of it takes just sheer concentration. And so based on what I've seen in the bye week, I think it's been a continuation of what I saw against Middle Tennessee.
Time isn't necessarily your ally right now. The season's kind of fading to the finish here. But what can they do here in these next 2, 3, 4 games to show you what you would like to see?
Oh, just consistency. And so again, when all parts are working together, when all parts are assignment sound, when all parts are flying to the ball and making plays, which they are capable of, then that's what I'd like to see. What a lot of the guys are finding out is, even though they've been in the system, being a starter in the system with what that takes in terms of preparation and execution and pressure, handling pressure, is quite a bit different than being a backup and playing on occasion.
You said, I have said a few times, that you maybe overestimated the value or underestimated the value of previous experience and maybe overestimated how ready some of these guys were to contribute.
I think it's been such a long time since we haven't played really good defense that I just assumed that the next group in, regardless of experience, the system would take care of it. And what I've really learned this year is a little, on my part, overestimation of how ready they were and how much a group of new starters needs to be challenged and developed and focused, not only individually but collectively at a really high level. And so I gave too much credit to the system, not enough emphasis to there's some inexperience.
Now, you still got games to play this year. Are you going to be set up already in much better shape next year, knowing what you've seen, knowing what you know right now?
That's easy. Middle Tennessee, there were 8 first-time starters, and they're all coming back, and they're capable and they're athletic. And so, again, I hesitate to even talk about that. We have a good program,
right.
We have a good team, and we'll have good players on both sides coming back. Right now, UNLV is really the only thing on our radar, but our team wants to finish well, and I want them to finish well. And so that's what we're driving home toward the downstretch.
You talk about players coming back. We haven't really heard much from Taysom. The presumption is he'll be back next year?
That's the presumption, but I don't want to speak for Taysom. man, he has a lot on his plate recovering, and it's been tough for not only him but the team, just from where we were, and then the impact of a single play, and then kind of that's had on not only the team but him. And so I'll just let that play out with Taysom speaking for himself.
Are you planning on it, though, in terms from a quarterback perspective? You got to figure out what's going on. Are you planning on it?
I would love to plan on it.
Yeah. How are he and Jamal doing, by the way, recovery-wise?
Taysom they're obviously at different stages. So you go from the mental, maybe discontent of, wow, my season's over, and then maybe sometimes even football's over. I don't think so in either one of their cases,
right.
But kind of getting through that based on how the surgery goes and how the rehab comes along. And then getting your mind right for the long months of recovery and rehab, what that's like while managing families in class and those kind of things. So Taysom was off the pain meds really early, successful surgery, caught up in his classes, and reintegrating now back into not only a team but school and regular life. Jamal I saw in the training room just yesterday, and so from Friday till yesterday, huge jump in terms of he's off the pain medication now, which is a huge step when the injury is significant. His mom was here, and so they did a lot of work in catching up his schoolwork while he was fairly coherent, in between just the pain and different things he's dealing with. And so really most of his assignments and work are in prior to finals week, and now it's just a matter of rehab and getting his mind set again for what rehab looks like of about anywhere from 6 to 9 months.
Again, the hope is, like with Taysom, that Jamal would be back for next season.
That's the hope,
yeah.
And that's what we would like.
There are mobility issues, obviously, but could we see either or both guys on the sideline with you for UNLV?
Possibly, and I really leave it up to them. And so if they're mentally ready to do that, sometimes just joining and seeing it makes it harder, not easier. And so they kind of have to be in a place where they can be an asset to the team and supportive, and that's really not something I think any of us should rush or impose. I mean, if that's what they'd like to do, great. If not, man, I certainly understand, and we'll just let that happen when they're ready.
But they're welcome to join you. You'd love to see them, sure.
Yeah. Taysom was in our team meetings this week, and fun to see him
for the
back.
First time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's great. It was good to see him, good to see the players see him, and so just, but again, to underestimate what a blow that is to what season he had in mind,
yeah.
and what he was leading us to, and then that's tough.
Did he need to be away for himself for a while there?
I think so.
Yeah.
But that's, again, all I do is support
yeah.
in those instances and try to be an advocate and a mentor and a friend, and then just be there when necessary. And then as they kind of feel ready, and I let them come back on their terms.
Speaking of support, let's see this T-shirt you're wearing, a little
Oh, yeah. So I received a gift, I think it was yesterday. So this is from Christian Stewart's roommate. So it is Stu, pretty clever with the 7/T, and then on the back there is, so it's good from either side.
Yeah.
So get them while they're hot. I don't know where to get them or how to get them, but this is where Christian Stewart's roommate, and I forgot his name right now. I told him we might name an office or a drinking fountain after him after seeing the T-shirt. But yeah, pretty cool.
And he's been good and getting better.
He's great. He's done a really nice job inheriting the team and giving it everything he has each week to give us a chance. And I'm a fan just by who he is, because that's a lot on your plate going from being Taysom's backup to now you're BYU starting quarterback. And I think he's handled it really well. And I'm happy for him because he's a great person, really hard worker, and the team loves him just because he's trying so hard.
It's a really unique experience to be a senior, an inexperienced senior relative to FBS play, and then have to replace a guy that's a Heisman candidate, and then do it without losing your mind.
That's it. And with the expectations of here was this season, and now you're expected to keep that going.
Yeah.
And what we really have tried to emphasize is it isn't just him. All we need him to do, Stu to do, is just his part, and that's really what I've emphasized to the defense and all the offensive players. This is Stu. Now the other 21 of you, make sure that you improve and continue to do your job to support, and that's really where my focus has been.
You may not be able to view the final lessons yet for a few weeks of this season. What do you think right now that you already have a pretty good suspicion is going to be your main takeaway from this year?
Oh, I think the focus on player development, player depth, and really emphasizing what experience does, and making sure that we don't overestimate again. Yeah, he'll just fit in and be a starter here because he was a special teams guy last year. That doesn't just happen flawlessly, and so especially if there's 7 or 8 on one side of the ball or the other. So the effect of consistency, and then making sure that, again, when you have a fantastic quarterback, there's not many guys that want to be backups.
That's a good point.
And so making sure that we have a plan that we can space fantastic quarterbacks far enough apart, but still have enough so they can see, yeah, when he's done, I will learn from him, then I'll take my turn to the next guy. Okay, he's the next guy, and by the time he's groomed, then I'll be groomed.
Which was always the way back when BYU was really rolling in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
This generation's a little different.
Yeah.
They want things now. They want to be the focus. Recruiting really lends itself to that in terms of families and the attention and the Elite 11 and all the stuff. And so if they don't come in and they're not in the plans as a freshman, or if there's a really good player in front of them, they want to go lead their own team. And so we had 2 transfer this year. And so, again, making sure at all positions that there's a fantastic starter, a fantastic one being groomed, a fantastic one coming in after that, and that's just going, which I really like our plan going forward. Experience does matter, ability does matter, and especially with the direction and the schedules that we have coming up.
All right, so back home, UNLV this Saturday, back home for the first time in a while. Blackout game. You like the All Blacks?
I forgot it was a blackout game.
There are other things on your mind.
There we go. I do. I'm not, it's taken me a long time to kind of shift to possibly different uniforms. I like BYU's traditional white and blue.
Yeah, me too.
It's just one other thing. The players like it. The fans, I think, get excited about it. I just don't want to draw away from anything that we're working on. And so, again, I didn't even remember that was this week.
Okay, you said drawing away. Let's draw away here as we take a look at maybe UNLV's logo.
Testing my flexibility and drawing at the same time it's kind of a little arc, isn't there?
Yeah, it's the UNLV is arcish in nature. Yeah.
Arcish in nature. Yeah. There. That's not bad. It's not bad. I'm not going for the colonel with the mustache part.
That's a little ambitious.
I'll go with that.